So you want to know when it's time to progress to the next exercise. We've had some really good questions come through on our UMS Movement Mastermind private Facebook group. And today we're going to answer them because it's something that a lot of people get wrong. And if you get it wrong, it is going to stifle your progress. So make sure you stick around and learn a really good strategy. Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. Today I'm joined, as always, by my brother Yanni Burmeister. We're the co-founders of Unity Gym and the co-creators of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the way we get such astonishing results with our members is that our program has a perfect balance between strength, flexibility, and cardio training. If you want to know how we do it, grab one of the free blueprints, the Strength Blueprint, Flexibility Blueprint, or Nutrition Blueprint. They're free downloads. And also join the UMS Movement Mastermind private Facebook group where we go live recording these podcasts every day, so you can be behind the scenes and ask us any questions. And today's show is all about a couple of questions that came through on the UMS Movement Mastermind, but it's in perfect alignment with what we've been talking about this week, which is bettering yourself and doubling down on skills and making sure that you actually get results rather than just pastime.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's it's something that I've just been scouring, something that people overlook. It's something that people get really wrong, and I've just been going through and answering a lot of comments that come through on our YouTube channel, and that the little concepts that we bang the drum of on a daily basis here on the podcast, like load management and things like that, progressive overload. Are the things that people get wrong, and they cause injuries and they stifle progress and all of that sort of thing,
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is, I'm actually just sharing this right now to my social. So the reason, what inspired this show is, as always, we go on our Facebook groups and have a look if there's any good questions that are in alignment with what we're talking about this week. And there's a really good one, and I'm going to pull it up right now so that we really stay on point. And before I do this, I have to say, with my Google Pixel 4 phone, when I was, no affiliation, by the way, Google, if you want to start sponsoring us,
give us some free
give
phones,
you some plugs. Yeah, I know you need the business. When I was taking a picture of my computer screen of the post, and the phone said copy text. It came up and I went, I wonder what that is. And I clicked it, and it copied all the text on the screen and put it into a document and then searched for it on Google.
Yeah, wow.
The AI does that now. Oh man, Skynet, it's on its way.
Skynet. Hey, before we dive into the question of the day, we've got a few people watching live. Let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. We always love to have a little bit of banter whilst we're recording these live podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. And, you always get more out of the show when people ask questions. So Vinny Brown, who is a rising star, he has the Rising Star badge on our Facebook group. That's not just my opinion, that's Facebook's opinion.
From Rhode Island in the USA.
Yeah, he joins in every day on our at-home live streamed workouts on YouTube, joins in about 12 hours later because obviously they're streamed at nighttime the day before for him. So our Wednesday workout gets streamed in the US in the evening on Tuesday, and then he jumps in on Wednesday morning and does it. And he's asked a really good question. He said, I've been doing the at-home workouts now for 7 weeks and just finished the Wednesday workout. I'm wondering when it would be appropriate to do the version of the scapular pulls that Rad is doing with the arched back. It's called Vinny, it's called a feet-supported arch into hang, and it's a progression that actually gets you into doing an arch into hang on a pull-up bar where you don't have your feet touching anything, which is a very challenging move. He's saying, when can I do that rather than the basic version, which is called the horizontal scap pull-in? That's what you're doing now. Full disclosure, I've always tended to be impatient with these things, especially when I'm watching someone do a more advanced version of what I'm doing. Guess that's the competitor in me. What I don't want is to injure myself and have to lose time like that. Man, it is such a good question, and it's a question that so few people ask. Most people actually just try and go to the next thing. And the short answer, I'm going to give you the short answer and then we can go deeper into it. The short answer is when you can really feel that you're doing the move that you're working on properly, which means when you can feel the muscles that control scapular retraction and depression when you can feel them working as you're training, because this is a movement that is something that is totally alien for a lot of people. For those of you listening on the podcast, you can Google scapular retraction and protraction. That's what we're doing here, but we're strengthening the retraction movement. So the mid and lower trapezius and the rhomboids are doing the majority of the work here. And you need to be able to feel it. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people do a movement and they can't feel it at all, but they've been doing it for 2 months and they think, well, I better go to the next movement. I've been doing it for so long. And that is a fatal flaw.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's actually another question that's come in here on the UMS Movement Mastermind that is very much in alignment with this too.
From who?
From a guy called Brenda Clay.
Yeah. That's the next one. I've got that. That's the next one we're going to answer. Yeah. So
this is very much the same alignment. First of all, we should probably note that Brenda Clay, I'm assuming, is a woman.
Yeah, I'm assuming that too.
I want to make sure, hopefully. It sounds like she's asking a UMS online coaching question in the Movement Mastermind.
Yeah, so we'll suss that out. Yep.
But it doesn't matter. We're going to answer it anyway. But look, like...
Can I just clarify just really quickly? If anybody says, what do you mean asking a UMS online coaching question in the Movement Mastermind? We have 3 groups. We have one group, the UMS Movement Mastermind, which anyone can join as long as you agree to the terms and conditions of the group, and we do that to help the greater community. That's where this video is getting posted. It's a mastermind.
It is what it is. It's based on the idea from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a collective of people, like-minded people striving for the same or similar goals, and we're sharing ideas.
Yep. Then we've got our then we've got our Unity Gym Tribe, which is exclusively for Unity Gym members, because we've got a very small tribe at Unity Gym compared to our international tribe, our online tribe, and a lot of those guys just don't want to. The guys and girls don't want to be bombarded with the questions that people are asking. But also, there's certain things that we want to put out that are specific to our gym members. And then we've got the UMS online coaching group. And what Yanni was saying there is, not only do we always answer our UMS online coaching members first, but we're obligated to answer their questions. Whereas for the Movement Mastermind, sometimes our admins and sometimes the other members will jump in and ask questions and answer questions, and that's great because that's the idea. People help each other. Yep. But in the UMS online coaching, that's different. It's always from Yanni and me.
The first thing I do every day and the last thing I do at night, except for reading my book, is I look at the group, the UMS online coaching group, and I flick through and just have a look if anything new's come through that I can help someone with as quickly as humanly possible. And I'm pretty sure Rad does the same thing.
Yep.
And Richie's on there as well. So yeah, it's super important that if you're a part of the UMS online coaching program, that you ask your questions there
in that group. Yep.
Because
you'll always get priority, you'll get a better answer.
You'll get an answer much quicker. Yep.
But let's go to Vinny. Let's go to Vinny's question, because Vinny, that movement that you're doing is. You're not in a lot of risk of injury by progressing to the next movement. When you progress on that path of progressions, you're just going to get to a point where you literally can't move at all. Like if you go too far, it's not really you're going to injure yourself so much, but you'll get very frustrated and you'll stifle your progress.
You'll also stifle progress because most people benefit with scapular control or straight arm scapular strength initially in just opening the shoulders, getting more movement. Like it's probably the most common thing, and I've been coaching people for almost 17 years now. It's one of the most common things that I've noticed is that the shoulders are like almost frozen. There's just no neural connection anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tightness, there's a lot of restriction in the pec muscles, in the rhomboids, in the lats, in the biceps, which really lock the shoulders down. And then the lack of neural connection to the rhomboids, the lower trap or mid trap fibers, and levator scapula really create this dysfunction where the shoulders, the scapula, when we say elevate, I'm lifting my shoulders up for those on the podcast, and then depress, I'm dropping my shoulders down, pulling them down to the floor, or retract and protract, going forward and backwards, or backwards and forwards. There's very little movement there. People see us do it and go, how do you move that much, you know?
Yep.
And so what's going to happen is that if you progress the difficulty or complexity of the movement, the load, too quickly, you'll not get, the first thing that will happen is that the movement will reduce. The amount that you can actually retract and depress your scapula will be severely reduced. And so, it's kind of like, think of it like doing a bicep curl, and you're really, really aiming to try and improve the bicep tendon strength through all of its ranges of movement, and then all of a sudden halving the range of the curl. So it's the very surefire way of stifling progress.
And Vinny, here's another short answer for you. One of the best things you can do is, man, post a video. This is a question that requires a video, brother. We can't tell you.
And this is the beauty of the UMS Movement Mastermind and the UMS online coaching group. If you post a video up and tag us in it, we'll look at it and critique it and give you some feedback.
So show us your best efforts, set up a camera, do a couple of those scapular pull-ins. We want to see it from directly behind. So we want to see what your scapula's doing, and then we want to see it beside you so we can see what your elbows are doing. Because you have to be able to create the movement without the elbows bending at all, and without the shoulders elevating. And for those of you on the podcast, I'm pulling my shoulders up while I say shoulders elevating. That's I think that answers Vinny's question. And how long should you do something for? Something like that. Some people do that movement for 6 months. And you've got to embrace that journey and understand that what comes after you create that neural pathway from the brain to the muscles that control scapular retraction, and once that becomes strong, you unlock limitless potential that was never there with your pulling. With anything to do with pulling, pull-ups, muscle-ups, horizontal rope, posture, correcting this shitty way of standing with your shoulders rounded, it is unbelievable what you unlock. It's like somebody not being able to see and then being able to see again. Of course, I don't mean that literally, but it is such a difference in what your body can achieve. So some people get it really quickly. Some people, it takes them 4 weeks or even less, 2 or 3 weeks, and we say, look, let's go on to the next one. Other people do it for 6 months and they still need more work on it. And that's, just depends who you are, and what's going on in your body. So let's have a look at Brenda Clay's question here. So Brenda Clay has said, "Sup tribe, hope everyone is doing awesome. I started phase 1 on Monday. I am loving it." Again, Brenda, we don't know if you're talking about the UMS online coaching program here or if you're talking about the at-home workouts. So Tuesday, I was bombarded with a myriad of interruptions, and it's been very difficult to get my work done. Now it's Wednesday, and I still have to find time for the second workout. Should I attempt to pack the remaining workouts into this week and proceed with week 2 on schedule, or proceed more slowly and make the preparation phase 2 weeks long instead of 1 week? Many thanks. Look, there's a couple of answers for this, and Yanni, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this. There's opinions, We always, things happen and you miss a workout. It's just what happens, and that's the way life goes. And my attitude towards it is, what I try to do is make sure that I get the workouts in the week that are the most important to me. So I always have my priority goals. So for me at the moment right now, it's upper body bent arm strength. Bent arm strength is my priority. So if I missed a bent arm strength workout on Monday, I would do it on Tuesday. And what I would do is I would actually push all of the workouts back one day. So I'd do bent arm strength on Tuesday and Friday instead of Monday and Thursday, and I'd be missing out on one straight arm strength workout. And same thing with lower body. If lower body was your priority, you trained on Monday, missed Tuesday, I'd do the lower body workout on Wednesday, then I'd do straight arm strength on Thursday, and so on and so forth. But you can't really get outside of a week. You've got a week to do what you want to do. Once that week's over, you dust yourself off and you start a new week. There's no bank what I didn't do last week into the next week. What do you think?
I agree, and there's always workouts that are more bang for your buck, but that takes skill, and that would be the one that you probably I've got a lot going on at work right now, so I didn't train on Tuesday or yesterday. When I finally do train for the first time, the first workout I will be doing is a squat workout, because I can just get more out of a squat workout than anything else. And so I'll be doing Tuesday's workout. But that's taken me 16, 17, 18 years to learn how to prioritize workouts like that. that. For everybody else who's sort of new to exercise or in their first few years of training,
it's not just that. Your upper body is at beast level. You know, your upper body strength is insane. Like, you walk away from training for 2 weeks and then you'll come back and do 5-bar muscle ups. Or 60, 70 kilo shoulder press or 120 kilo bench press. So that's probably another thing for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just know what my body needs. And I train based on my weakness, I prioritize my weakness, my weakest thing, and my weakest thing at the moment is squatting.
Probably has been for 5 years, considering that you had a knee reconstruction.
Yeah, that's right. I can, for those of you playing at home, I can probably deadlift about 240 kilos for one rep, but I couldn't squat 200 kilos. And if you were looking at the ratios there, if I could do a single, like I can very comfortably do reps at 200 kilos at the moment. I should be able to very comfortably do reps at about 180 kilo on the back squat, and there's no way I could do that, So I've got a lot of catching up to do there, and also my front squat is even worse than that. So yeah, I prioritize squat, but I know that I've got the wisdom to understand how to do that. For everybody else, you've got to understand that every workout is an opportunity to evolve. And what Rad's saying is kind of true. You don't try and cram it and start a new week unless that new week means that you would be progressing to new movements or new overload parameters. Because if you've missed a whole bunch of workouts, then you've missed all this opportunity to evolve. I like to think of my workouts as saving money. I take a methodical approach in the same way that I do about managing my wealth and saving and investing money. Every month provides an opportunity to bank and save more money. And that money provides opportunities for me to invest and improve my net worth. The same goes for every workout. Every month provides 30 odd days, 28 days to exercise. And every one of those exercise sessions provides an opportunity for me to level up my skill in strength, skill in flexibility, and skill in movement practice. And if I skip any of those days, then I've missed the lesson, the opportunity, the gift of that workout. So I don't then go, I'm just going to start next program phase. I'm going to go, no, I want to go back and capture and make the most of all of those opportunities, that I left on the table last month from the program. And that's really important because we all want to do the biggest and the best and the greatest thing. We all want to fast track our way to the movement that we're trying to unlock, and we want to get there as quick as possible. It might be a handstand, it might be a triple body weight back squat or a deadlift or a muscle up or something like that. Problem is that if you skip progressions or you skip workouts, then it doesn't get you to that skill quicker. It probably, if you keep trying to level up, it probably gets you to an injury quicker.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
You're not banking the volume. You're skipping. Volume is key, guys. And we're going to bang this drum until we put a hole in it. Volume is key. And if you skip workouts, you skip volume. You skip the opportunity to bank reps. We spoke about this yesterday, that the tissues remodel at different rates. And, we like to say every program gets harder, both in intensity and complexity. And so if you skip to the next program, you're jumping up in intensity and complexity. That's the difficulty of exercise and the amount of weight that you lift, without banking the volume needed to really, really level up the deeper tissues in the body.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you said before, I think, is a really important thing where we just skipped over it, where you said, I'm doing the workout that I get the most out of, and we touched on that. It's also the area of your body that you feel is probably the weakest because of the injury that you had, which was 5 years ago. And, for 5 years, you've been on this journey to turn your squat from a weakness into a strength. And it definitely is now. Like, you squat an obscene amount compared to the average person. Just in the last month, what's the biggest squat you've done? 170?
I'm doing doubles at 160 last week.
160, okay. So 160 kilos. So that's... I don't know how much that is in pounds, but it's above 330 pounds. I don't have my calculator in my hand. But the same thing goes in opposite for me. The weakest part of my body is my upper body. So my big mission for the last couple of years has been to strengthen my upper body. I can not squat at all for 6 to 12 months, and within 4 weeks I can be doing 150, 160 kilo squats, and I've proven that multiple times. So for me, the point of what I'm saying here is that it builds on what we were talking about yesterday, where we were saying if you want to learn something and you want to get better at it, give it 6 months minimum, because here we are talking about bringing up a weakness in our body over a period of years. And it was never a race. It was never like it's not like we went, oh my God, I have to get this in 3 months, and if it's not strong in 3 months, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be so upset. It's just that you identify that there's an area of your body that needs more focus than other things, and then your training becomes built around that. And in Yanni's case, what that means is if he misses 2 days in a workout, the workout that he does, it doesn't matter if it's the right day of the week or not, it's the one that trains the area of his body that he said, I need the priority on. And the exact same thing happens for me. And with that process, you get the volume that you need on the thing that you need the most. And if you miss out on the thing that you need the least, what are you going to do? That's life. It's this old saying, you can't cry over spilt milk. Yeah. And there's no need for it. We shouldn't be looking at the past in regret. We should be looking at the future for opportunity.
Yeah. And I would like, because this is a really great opportunity to dive in and just talk about how awesome we are and what we do. A lot of people might be saying that, well, you guys have got 20 years of training experience or 25 years of training experience. How do we know what we need most? That's why we created the UMS online coaching program, because it's a blueprint. The big part of the program that makes it different to anything else that I've ever seen, which just prescribes workouts to build body parts. It assesses you every 6 weeks. You go through a testing week where you test strength, flexibility, symmetry, and anatomical structural balance, and that gives you a blueprint of what you need to work on most. Yep. And then you go to town for the next 5 weeks working on that area, and then you retest. And many times the test results will come back the same, pointing you in the same direction over and over and over again.
6 months, 12 months.
And that's totally fine. But it's giving you what you need to work on, and that's how we know. And it's so ingrained in us now that we don't really even need to do the strength testing. The strength testing almost happens in our workout. But we still do it. We still go through it. We still practice it, and it's such an incredibly powerful system once you understand it and once you understand what it's doing for you. It really is. And it's something that you would normally have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get access to with the best strength coaches in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, and it leverages the data taken from hundreds of years of scientific research on both sports and exercise science and exercise physiology.
Look, we learnt the strength testing protocol that we teach in the UMS. We learnt it almost a decade ago, and then we've since relearnt it twice because we've gone back to our coach Tony Battaji. Shout out to you, brother, for putting that together. We've learnt it several times over the years, but it took us a decade to actually figure out how can we put this into a program that we can deliver to the masses, not to an individual. And even as personal trainers with years, a decade under our belt of experience, it took us a very, very long time to figure out how to put this into a structured program like what the UMS is now, so that people could access it. Yep. And that really is the secret sauce, and it's the thing that sets this program aside, like Yanni said, and it's something that stifles a lot of people. And we're in this process of getting our Thinkific site rebuilt, so it's much simpler and much more digestible, because it's very overwhelming for people right now. They look in it and it's like, whoa, there's so much
just
going on
here. Just very quickly, big shout out to Brenda Clay. She's actually on the live stream and she says, awesome. This is the first time I've ever been online when you guys are live. Usually catch these the next day on YouTube. I was really surprised to have my question answered. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just never know. When you ask us a question, you never know who's going to get answered live. And it's such a cool thing to be live on the show. And to be able to get that happening live. Shout out to Carmine as well.
Yep.
Balance is key. Very good insight, brother.
Yep. So look, the big takeaway from today is, when do you know when to progress to the next movement? You have to post a video and ask somebody that's better than you.
Yeah.
You need coach. This is what coaching's about, and this is why we've created these groups. If you've never done the progression yourself, you're not going to know.
Yeah,
you won't know.
Just very quickly, guys, because there is a lot of people listening to this on the podcast and watching the replay posted on our YouTube channel. Like I can't stress this enough, the value in jumping over to the UMS Movement Mastermind. Even like if you're not ready to subscribe and join the online coaching program, just jump into that Movement Mastermind, because you can still post videos there, and there's some really, really smart people in there, us included, who will give you feedback. That's why we have the groups on Facebook. We can't have that level of interaction on YouTube. It's just not a platform designed for that. And we invite you all to take this opportunity to jump over, look for, there's always a link in the description to these videos and podcasts. You can just click on that link. Yeah, you literally have to answer one question and then agree to the terms of the code of conduct, to abide by the code of conduct. If you don't check that box, I cannot stress this enough, we get hundreds of people applying for that group every day, and half of them don't get in because they don't click the
Maybe
box.
not every day, every week. Hundreds every week, yep.
Yep. And you'd be very disappointed, because we will just deny your application if you don't check the box.
Yep.
We want switched on people. It's a mastermind. It's about bringing in like-minded people who are going to not just take from the group, but give to the group. It's about sharing insight. It's about all working together as a mastermind to getting, to empowering each other. And if you can't click a little box that says, yes, I agree to the code of conduct, you're not the type of person we want in that group.
Definitely not. Thanks everyone for tuning in today, and for this whole week. Make sure you join us tomorrow as we wrap up the week. Talking about, we've got a good show to talk about some, the best way that you can really double down and learn a new skill, and use the rest of this self-isolation time for benefit. The word, if you look at the trends, at least in Australia, we're looking at ways to come out of the self-isolation, out of the lockdown. But the trends of these pandemics is that, like, we've only had phase 1, and the trends of a lot of these pandemics is that phase 2 comes back and actually wipes out about 10 times more people than phase 1 did.
Man, it's incredible. I got reminded, sorry to cut you off, I got reminded watching the early news this morning at like 5:30, how insanely... contagious this virus is. We had a case in Australia here where a worker in in a retirement village, an old people's home, went to work sick unknowingly and has given the virus to a lot of people there, and it's pretty devastating. I think 15 of the elderly people living in that place have died now. But her partner works in an abattoir, and he's gone to work totally unknowing that he's caught the virus off his wife, and now there's 45 people at the abattoir that are really sick as well. It just spreads like wildfire once you go out in public when you're sick. It's incredible. So we've got these two massive outbreaks that are really difficult to control now in Australia, again, right at the point when we were talking about coming out of lockdown.
What states are they in?
Victoria.
Both in Victoria, are they?
Yeah. Yeah, both in Victoria.
Well, buggers.
So it's like, oh man, so you never know. And there's going to be a lot of coming out and then going back in, and coming out and then going back in, and imposed lockdown, and then relaxed lockdown, and
it's not
stuff as we sort of try and figure this out.
This is a long way from being over. It really is.
Unfortunately.
And
which is good, because it means that you've still got time to level up. You've still got time to do something that you never thought possible. You've still got time to focus on yourself, on your health, on your wealth, on your family.
And if you haven't gotten started on something that's really going to change your life, it's never too late to start. The best time to start something was yesterday or last week or last month, but guess when the second best time to start is? Today. Not tomorrow, today. So get started with something, because there is still going to be a lot of time left before this whole lockdown situation is finished. And it's likely that we're never going to get an opportunity like this again. I know that might sound crazy to some people that some people are thinking this isn't an opportunity. Well, there's an opportunity. There's always an opportunity within an obstacle, and this, you know, within diversity creates opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know, those of us that harness it and take it are going to come out of this with an amazing, you know, some amazing gifts and some amazing, you know, things that we've created for ourselves.
All right, let's wrap this up. It's 9 o'clock. Everyone on YouTube and on the podcast, remember to get over and join that UMS Movement Mastermind, and you can join in on the live production of these podcasts. Until tomorrow, we'll see you soon, tribe. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, that's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that
It's
far.
the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.